Good morning, Leo.
Yeah. Big day, is it?
He knew I hit record, that's what happened. Mr. Byron Dempsey.
Peachy, good to be back.
How are you, mate?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah. No, I'm really good. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
It's cracker. It's crazy to think how long ago we did the first.
That was back when I was in Woolloomooloo.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
back in the Woolly days.
Yeah, that was like, what, 2-3 years ago? Maybe even longer?
Longer, man. I think it was 2022.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. You've had the podcast for a while then.
Yeah. I went soft on it for a bit because
Yeah,
I
that's-
just didn't prioritize it.
Everyone
at all.
does. It's
But
tough.
when you're episode 18 now, so we're 2 episodes off being part of the 1%.
nice. Very nice.
Mate, what's been going on? If you're listening to this podcast, listen to this one, but then go back to the other one and listen to the OG Byron.
Man, I wonder, I would guess a lot of my thoughts and opinions may have probably not overtly changed, but I probably have a different perspective on things for sure since then.
And what do you think that is?
Oh, I'd have to watch it and see what I was talking about. But yeah, I just think I'm less, back then I was probably more hustle, go. And now I'm more like, as I'm getting older, I'm not old, but as I'm getting older, I'm like, what is the life I really want to build? And like, I don't want to be like hustle forever. Like I kind of want to like build a life more of freedom, fun, adventure, as opposed to like building the biggest business possible.
So that was your goal originally. You wanted to...
Not the biggest business possible, but I was definitely like in that grind, kind of just like work. I wasn't like living my 20s as much.
Yeah.
Like and we always joked about that, me and Pace. We're just like, man, like we weren't going out as much. We weren't traveling. I never really traveled in my early 20s because I was always working. And so, yeah, as I'm getting towards my later 20s, I'm like, man, in your early 20s, you can be like, oh, I'll do that later. But as you get older, you're just like, oh man, I really should start prioritizing this stuff.
And how have you found that has impacted your life now? Do you feel like you've got that balance better, or is it more of a goal?
Yeah, it both, I think. It's definitely a goal, but I definitely am balanced better. Like, it's interesting. Usually when business gets really tough, my personal life gets neglected.
Yeah.
You know, like you stop going to the gym, you start sleeping badly, and like everything goes fight or flight. You have to work on the business because that's the number one thing. But like I had a lot of tough stuff this year in the business, but like my personal life didn't get hit. Like I continued going to the gym. I continued like all my good habits in my personal life. I almost keep them very separate. So that was a big change for me. It was like really good. So yeah, I'm definitely balancing it better than previously, but still a journey.
Yeah. Can you just turn the gain down on
me?
of it?
Yeah, sure.
It's the top knob. Yeah. Is it all the way down?
Yeah. How's that?
Beautiful. All right, we'll give that another go. I think
Yeah.
because the room's a bit...
Hello.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that life balance, because it's so common in the entrepreneurial culture. It's like hustle, work 14 hours a day, sacrifice everything. What's your take on that? Obviously, you've learned a lot in the last few years of business.
It's interesting. Like, oh man, that's such a big question. I think most of the people online, just like anyone online, usually if they're getting attention, they're doing something that warrants that attention, and they're probably saying some extreme stuff, like saying you got to work 15 hours a day, 16 hours a day, whatever it is. I don't think many people are working consistently those hours a day. There are definitely some people that are just like built different that can just do that, but I think it's not a healthy way of living life. And I just think most of those people seem to have goals of like getting a huge amount of money, and a lot of them aren't happy. Like I know so many people that are quite wealthy now, and I talk to people, and it doesn't contribute to like happiness. A lot of them have gone through divorces. A lot of them have done a good relationship with their kids, and it's just like, is that the life that I want to build? Like I was talking to my girlfriend who works in finance, and I was just like, do you look up to anyone in your job? And she's like, no, I don't want to be anyone in my job. And that was a real light bulb moment for her, where she's like, oh, what am I? Is this what I want to do? And obviously you can like still work in that and build a different life outside of it, but you very much become the environment that you're surrounded by. So yeah, for me, I subscribe to working hard, but I also don't think you can productively work hard. Most people can't productively work 14 hours a day, even 8 hours a day. Most people aren't productively working 8 hours a day. Like just work 6 hours a day and make those 6 hours really productive, and you'll get more done than someone working 14 hours. That's just kind of like jerking around and like just I think a lot of people want to work those long hours just so they can tell the world they work those long hours.
Yeah, right.
I work 14 hours a day. It's like everyone's got the same underdog story. I grew up with no money. I worked 15 hours a day. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, I got mixed opinions on it.
No, that's fair. I think to my own life, because that was my mentality. I was like, I need to work more. I need to hustle more.
It's everyone's mentality at the beginning.
Right?
Yeah. It was me as well. I was working huge hours and stuff. And I don't regret it. And I do think you have to work your ass off at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because you don't know anything at the beginning.
Exactly.
So, I can work 6 hours way more efficiently than younger Byron could work 15 hours. And so it's like, it's a more enjoyable life and you're working more efficiently.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do have to work your ass off at the beginning.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And then you sort of take that and you figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
Like I've understood that it doesn't matter how many times I try, if I wake up first thing in the morning and try and start working, it's impossible.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. I have to do stuff. I have to go for a walk. I have to go to the gym. I have to have food, or meditate or read a book or just do something. And I've noticed that when I do that, I take care of myself. Once it hits like 1 p.m., I have snapped into like 5-6 hours of pure flow. Because that just seems to be where it's in. Like I get all of the worms out of my body, and then I'm like, okay, let's go. And then I can stay there and keep working. And like sometimes I'll get to 8-9 o'clock, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I don't want to stop. I'm just in such a groove.
Yeah, dude. If you can pull that off every day, you'll be way more effective than most people.
Exactly. But then again, it comes back to finding what works for you. So then, what have you found? And let's talk more specific things so that someone can really take value from this. What have you found to be the things that work for you in this journey?
I think one of the hardest things in entrepreneurship is, when you talk about this, and you would never think this when you're about to start out, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it, is the most important thing in entrepreneurship is focus. What do you focus on? Because there's this infinite amount of things you could be doing. Building a personal brand, posting on Instagram. You could be putting out content. You could be, creating software. You could be using software to to-do lists. And it's just a million different things. So what are you focusing on? And so exactly that, figuring out what are the most important things that are going to move the needle. And getting real crystal clear. What am I focusing on this week? And how is that going to move the needle? Because I'm the biggest victim of doing stuff that doesn't move the needle. I guess it moves the needle slightly, but not enough.
Yeah.
And so we often do stuff that just moves it enough to no, I am working, and you are working. It's all valid. Yeah. But you're not doing the thing you should be doing, because the thing you should be doing is picking up the phone and making sales calls.
Yes.
Or the thing you should be doing is doing that webinar where you're going to make sales, or having that tough conversation, or whatever, or hiring that person, or whatever it is. But you don't want to do it. So instead you're just like, I'm going to create content, or I'm going to do this, which is still important, but it's not the thing that's going to move the needle forward. Yeah. And so it's like, what is the thing that's going to move the needle forward in your life? In business specifically, you can also apply that idea to your personal life as well. And there's literally full entire books written about this idea. There's this thing called Occam's razor, and there's entire books and stuff that go into detail around this idea of what is the one thing you can focus on. And one of the issues is when you focus on that, you go, but what about everything else? And there's a quote I love, and it's sometimes in business you just got to let some bridges burn. There's going to be some fires. And so it's if you're just focusing on one thing that's going to move the needle forward, you might be missing out on some emails. You might be not managing other things as well. And that's part of business. You can't do everything perfectly. So that's probably the biggest thing I would say when it comes to business specifically. And exactly as you said, figuring out your flow. If yours is 1 p.m., freaking great. If yours is 6 a.m. for whoever's listening or whatever, great. It doesn't matter. If you like to start work at 6 p.m. and work until 3 a.m., who gives a shit? So long as it is where you get energy and where you're doing it, that'll be where you'll both be most productive.
Exactly.
And then you're better off spending time going to the gym, using your personal life in the hours that suit you. But that's also the privilege of being an entrepreneur. If you're working a 9 to 5, you're working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And so that's a downside of having a job. It might not suit your energy schedule or whatever you feel like. And so there are a lot of downsides to entrepreneurship, but one of the benefits for sure is you can dictate when you work. So leverage that.
So we're talking about moving the needle and picking that one thing. In your own experience, what have been those things that have moved the needle the most?
Yeah, a good example, if we're going back to early stage Driven Young, which is my business, launching it was terrifying because it's once you've launched it, we have to get 40 to 50 people to justify doing an intake. And let's say I get 20 people, that's not enough to run one of our programs. You have to refund everybody. You've lost a lot of money and stuff. So it's super stressful because it's as soon as I've launched it, now I'm committed. So in the early stages of Driven Young, man, I launched one, and then after the one you joined, I took 6 to 8 months before I launched the next one because I was just I just didn't want to launch it because I know once I launched it, I've got to fill it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you just got to launch it. You've got to like put out the announcement. You've got to run the first webinar, make that first sale, and then you're in it. So that's a good example of like, I can't even remember what I was doing in between those like 6 to 8 months. I'm sure I was doing the podcast and working on stuff that was still valuable, but it wasn't a thing that was going to move the needle forward, which was just launching and getting out there. But for most people starting business, the thing will be creating an MVP.
What do you mean?
A minimum viable product.
Oh.
So what is a minimum viable product or service that you can create, that you can put out to the world and just start testing it and start putting it out there? So like, I know you're into breath work. So for you, it would be like, what is a really simple breath work thing I can do, and just start getting it people in for free and just seeing how they go.
Well, that's literally exactly what I'm doing at the moment.
Exactly. And so you don't have to know about the word minimum viable product. You probably figure it out.
Yeah.
But most people in entrepreneurship, they start a business, they get it registered, they spend months getting logos and designs, all this bullshit they don't need. They start putting out content. It's like, you just got to figure out, is this something that the world wants and the market wants and that you're actually good at? And then you can start doing a lot of that stuff. And so moving the needle forward for most people who are starting out in business would be creating an MVP and putting it out to the world, announcing it on social media, or like just booking your first client and not getting logos, not writing blog posts, not setting up a website, all that stuff. It's still important. It's not that this stuff isn't important. It's just getting clients, getting testimonials, and then you can start to grow that stuff out. So yeah, it depends on people's life. For some people, have you heard of the idea that eat that frog? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you wake up in the morning.
Tracy, huh?
Yeah, and it's like you wake up in the morning and there's a frog next to your bed, and you've got to eat it at some point before you go to bed. And it's like, you could wait until the last minute to eat it, or you could just get it over and done with and just wake up, have that frog, eat that frog, and then you can move on with your life. And there's a lot of tough conversations or things people need to do in their work and personal life that they just know is there, and they just like hold off for a very long time, and that builds all this stress and anxiety, and you just got to rip that bandit off. And that's what I mean by like focus. What are you focusing on? So yeah, you can apply it to a lot of different areas in life.
It's funny how the things that we procrastinate, it's like 100 out of 100 times, as soon as you do that thing, you feel better.
And it's not as bad as you thought.
No, it's not as bad as you thought.
Yeah, you had the conversation and you're like, oh, I'm so glad that's over. I'm so glad that's over. You don't enjoy it, it didn't go well. Or you call someone and you get rejected. It's like, okay, but at least it's over. At least I did it. And it's just that feeling. And then it gets easier and easier 100%. As you do it.
So you launched the first DYP, was it in the back of 21?
Yeah.
So from that moment until now, run us through like an overview of the journey that you've gone through for the business, but then also you in your own head as you've given birth and grown this thing.
Man, I mean, so much. Like, that was 2021, it's 2025 now. I think we've run like 12, 13 intakes, maybe more. And we've had over 1,000 people go through it, which is awesome. And yeah, I've learned a lot about human dynamics, relationships, how people work. We've had a whole bunch of volunteers work for us, so probably over like 100 to 200 volunteers. I learned a lot about how to manage volunteers, how to manage people's expectations, a lot of business tools, marketing, software. How do we sell these things? How do we run large scale events? How do we manage people's energy in these events? How do you go really deep but not too deep? Like, there's 1,000 things we've learned. How to hire, how to like find really good quality talent and identify people, how to tough conversations. We've had to, kick people from the program if they've been bad behavior, if they've broken our community rules, so many different things. And, our retreat I mentioned to you before, we've run overseas retreats now, which is how do you manage people overseas logistically? How do we create a program that lasts 6 days and then manages their energy and gives them a lot of mental challenges, physical challenges, also a lot of fun? How do we create connections, community, which is really the heart of what I love to do, is like connections and community, and like having a lot of like vulnerable conversations, which leads to like phenomenal connections. That's kind of the heart of Driven Young, I would say. But I still love the personal development journey as well. So I think a big thing for me is, I was saying to you before, you learn more by doing. And in the world of personal development, there's only so long you can read books and attend events and everything before it gets ridiculous. So it's like, okay, when are you actually going to implement this? And it's like, that's all good, but I often think it's like kind of personal development masturbation. It's just like you're just doing this stuff but not taking action. Yeah. And so I feel like everyone has to have a phase, which I think you've done as well, and I did it as well, where you just go balls deep on personal development and you're reading like everything you can. And then you kind of just like hit a wall and you're like, okay, you got to start doing something now. Let's actually implement action what you do. Like, just read one book a year and do what it says in that book.
Yeah.
Like, how many of the books have you read that you actually did what they said? Man, not many.
Dude.
I can't think of many books where I'm like, and I've read a lot of personal development books. I'm like, what did I actually do from that? Like, it was good information, but did I use any of it? So I think the biggest lesson for me is just like doing is where you learn. Like just running events, doing all those things. It's just, that's where I learned so much. It's like business is like the ultimate personal development vehicle.
Yeah.
It forces you to get out of your comfort zone all the time.
It does. And then it's the whole point of personal development is then to create that structure and framework that you're looking for so that then you can take the action. It's you get caught in the cycle of consuming. It's just another form of procrastination.
Yeah, literally.
You feel productive because you're learning.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it tricks you into thinking that I am working on myself. And you are working on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No.
This is not black and white. This is not, don't stop reading books. That's great. But you're better off to actually just, instead of reading the book, take action. Finally, like, stop reading your 4th business book and start your business. Start testing it. You don't have to like quit your job and go all in. Just like put it on the side and like do a little bit of a side hustle and see, is this people interested in? Is this something I like to do? And, start testing it.
I was listening to this podcast the other day. It's one of my new favorites with Hositng and Stephen Bartlett.
I've listened to that one.
Yeah, I was like, I listened on the way up to the Gold Coast, and then I listened to it again on the way down from the Gold Coast. And I got about 2 hours in, and then I just paused it, and I was like, enough. And then I started recording on my phone, and then I started to talk. And then so it's like you go from that consuming to then creating. And then I'm like, well, I don't need to consume more business stuff because that's not where I am right now. So then I'm like, okay, well, I feel like consuming again. So what is more practical in this part of my life? And then so I started listening to Think and Grow Rich. And it's like that balance between, I mean, yes, I'm driving, so there's only so much I could do. But then, like, doing what you can in that time and being realistic with yourself. If I consume 7 hours of content, am I going to take it all in? No. And then you think, what is going to be the tool that's going to help you to extrapolate all of that value? It's that balance between consumption and creation.
And it's still good. Like, listening to that podcast is going to like maybe motivate you or make you feel good. Like, there's other benefits, right? But it's just like once you've done it, people get stuck in that trap for a very long time. And funny enough, specifically that episode, the Hormozy Diary of a CEO episode, I remember when I listened to it, I was like, this is brilliant, but it's so high level. Yeah. They were talking about such complex ideas. I was like, man, because they're both, got large teams now. They're talking about how to manage HR and all these teams and everything. I was like, this is, honestly, it's interesting, but it's useless.
Exactly.
I'm not at that stage yet. But I still enjoyed it, right? Yeah. So it's just like finding that balance of like not getting stuck in just perpetually listening and tricking your brain into thinking you're doing, but you're not actually.
Consumption and creation. What's the ratio for you right now?
Oh man, I don't consume much, like personal development stuff.
Or just in general, it doesn't have to be personal development, but just consumption and creation.
Probably like 30% consumption, maybe 20%, if that.
What are you consuming?
Like it's just like TV shows with my girlfriends, or maybe a bit of YouTube when I'm just like want to have lunch and just switch my brain off for a little bit, just watch some YouTube. That's pretty much it, really. Music, I'll just listen to. I like listening to a lot of instrumental soundtracks. Like I like listening to music. It just like makes me feel good. So like, I'll go for a walk, listen to music or something. I'm not consuming much right now, actually. I'll listen to podcasts here and there, and I just read a fantasy book, so like I try to listen to those books or something. But yeah, like I did start listening to the recent Diary of a CEO episode with the 3 entrepreneurs in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and but not consuming a huge amount. It's just like trying to focus on creation.
And what are you creating? What's your focus at the moment?
Well, right now I'm switching the business where we want to switch from our 12-month program for young people, Driven Young. We want to switch to running retreats. We've started running retreats and they've just been amazing. So I kind of want to double down on that and just do retreats. We want to do like a founder retreat for, founders that are looking to like go to the next level, looking to connect with like 25, 30 other founders, looking to switch off for 6 days and just stop focusing on stop working in their business and start working on their business. So just do like all high level thoughts, come with new strategies, new ideas, pushing them physically, mentally. That'll be a lot of fun. And we're going to like launch that early next year. So it'll be very like limited to people. And same thing like a father son retreat I like to do. So yeah, as of recording this, my plan is to start creating a lot more. I haven't been creating actual content for a long time. And I think that's let my personal brand down, which is very hard to grow a business without a strong personal brand nowadays. Not impossible, but definitely not easy.
Oh, it's harder. Like you look at the people with personal brands and businesses. In the little study that I've done, most of them, their personal brands are like so much bigger than their actual business.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's just that
The business also almost doesn't matter.
yeah.
Yeah. You just want to have it like good branding and make it look clean and like whatever it needs to be, and maybe have an active social media or something. And even then, it doesn't matter that much. Like, it depends on what you're doing. I do think it is good to have a business and a personal brand, because the risk of being a personal brand is if something happens, if you do something stupid or like a clip goes viral of you saying some dumb shit or something, like it could collapse everything you built. So I wouldn't put all the eggs in one basket, but definitely like personal brand is the way to go. Yeah. Which I've been neglecting.
Why do you think personal brand is so important in 2025?
I think people associate with faces. They want to be part of people don't like companies. Oh, but Nike and Apple, yeah, sure, the biggest ones in the world. But most companies people don't care about. They like faces. Even Nike and Apple, Nike was famous for doing the Jordan campaign, which was like one of the most successful campaigns. And they used an athlete. Like Nike signs athletes left, right, and center. The reason we love Nike is because we love the people that wear Nike. And so there's even then, we like all throughout history, like look at Walt Disney. Disney was started by Walt Disney. Henry Ford started Ford. Like they all these huge companies started as a personal brand, even throughout history. Apple, Steve Jobs was like this visionary. Everyone believed in his vision and everything. And so there's personal brands all through. I mean, Tesla, Elon Musk, like even modern day. So, personal brand has always been throughout history. And these companies, now they're faceless companies like Disney 100 years later. But we don't love companies, really. We love the people. We love the story. We love the journey and stuff until you get big enough. And if you listen to this podcast, I doubt you're, Disney size. So it's really just like people associate with a face. They want to be part of a journey with somebody. They want to know, like, and trust you. They want to, you always, if you had consumed 10 hours of someone's content and 0 hours of one content and they both are the same thing, who do you think you're going to go with? Well, I like this person. I like their opinions, their thoughts. I like watching them. I'm going to go with them. It just makes sense.
What do you think is when you sort of restructure your life to invest more time into building your personal brand, what is at the front of your mind when you're doing that?
Well, right now I'm definitely a little bit lost in terms of what I want to build my personal brand as. I've got a podcast, so I definitely want to like focus on the podcast because I enjoy doing that. And yeah, I mean, for me, I'm going to sit down and just I think it's just start putting out content and seeing what lands. Throw enough mud on the wall, wait till one sticks, and then you can kind of double down on that. And from the content creators I know, there's a lot of just if you look at a YouTuber, they find their thing, but if you go back into their videos, you see all the crazy shit they were doing until they found that thing. And so you often have to just put out stuff until you find something that works and, that people connect with.
What sort of content do you love to create?
For me, I'm not even too sure right now. I like doing the podcast. I don't like editing the podcast anymore because I've done so many. Yeah. It's just a grind. But I want to get back into more film, storytelling, filmmaking vibes. Because I grew up as a filmmaker. I made videos since I was 11 years old, and I've lent away from that. So I'm honestly not too sure, and that's what I got to start figuring out. I feel like I'm starting my personal brand from scratch, even though I'm not. I've got a following, and I've been creating content for a while, but I feel like I'm starting from scratch with the pivot for where the company's going. Yeah. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, it's a new challenge.
Yeah, 100%.
We were talking before about Driven Young and how you want to move towards working more with founders, and then also that your true love right now in terms of the business is these retreats. Run me through how you come about doing your retreat and then why it's lights you up so much. You just come back from Bali. You said that was super awesome. Run me through this.
I mean, retreat's the highest level work we do because number one, we've got a bigger budget. People are paying a few $1,000s to be there, whatever it is, which means we get this insane villa, private chef, ice bath, sauna, gym, yoga shala, everyone's sitting around the pool, and it's just absolutely incredible. So even if we just had people there with nothing, they're going to have a good time. Number two, everyone there's super switched on. They're all there for one reason, to grow, to connect, to be a better version of themselves. So when you've got 25 to 30 people like that in the space, it's absolutely amazing. We've got an incredible team, and we really have an awesome structure where each day is structured into we've got self-love day, fear day, physical day. So there's different themes for each day, and we give them different challenges. So it's a very structured retreat. There's a lot of free time, a lot of time to relax. But the idea is that you really we strip everyone back, and they get to face what are the things that are holding them back, whether that's in business and life. But also it's just incredible networking and connecting. The connections at this thing are next level. So that's a big reason why I'm looking to double down on it. And that's why I want to tap into bringing 25 high quality founders to a retreat like this would be absolutely insane. You know, imagine the connections. We can bring in speakers, we can do crazy activities, get them outside the comfort zone, get them resetting. And I guarantee that they'll come back with insane and awesome ideas to grow their company. Because I've found whenever I step away for a little bit, that's when I get the best ideas. When you're stuck in it 24/7, you're just putting out fires and you never get a chance to breathe. But the word retreat, you know, comes from retreating, right? It's when you're losing and you retreat back, you regather so you can come back stronger, like in an army sense. And it's the same thing with this. It's like, take a step away from your business, give us 5-6 days where you're completely disconnected, you're connecting with other founders, you're being present, you're coming up with ideas, you're learning new ideas, you're learning stuff about yourself, you'll come back way stronger with a bunch of new ideas. And that's the theory behind it, at least, because yeah, the few times I've taken time off work is when I get, even just like a walk or a hike, you know, going away for the weekend gives you like a reset and a refresh. But business owners are terrible at taking time off. They never prioritize it. So that's why I want to work with founders specifically, because I think as a founder myself, I understand all the pains they're going through and how important it is. I think the challenge will be convincing them of, you know, giving us, not their money, giving us their time. You know, give us 5 or 6 days off your business, because that's a scary thing to do. But I think it's, you know, the ROI of that, if you do it correctly, can be huge.
Well, and this is it, because you and I both know the value of investing in yourself and of making that time. Like when I went up to Gold Coast, having that week where I knew I was going to Gold Coast and I was working on myself in the business, that meant that I could work so hard in the lead up to that, because I'm like, I'm going to have a break later.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what they will do. You work your ass off in business to make sure you can survive. You've got a week holiday coming up. You've got to work double just to make sure that you can, like, okay, is everything set up? All right, if you need me, call me. And yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, just doubling down on those sorts of things and tapping into different markets and having fun with it, because that's where I have the most amount of fun. We get the most amount of impact. It's just incredibly fulfilling.
So I know that we sort of touched on it, but I just want to be super, super clear. Why should someone come to your retreat? Why would they want to come? Because it's obviously not for everybody, but who is it for and why you specifically?
I think we do some of the best retreats in the world because they're so intentional. So like every minute is planned out, whether it's free time, like we give you free time, but we plan out that free time. Everything is designed to optimize your connections, to get pushed physically, mentally, and emotionally, to just experience as much as possible in this 5 to 6 day window. So we wake up every morning, we have our structure, we have our flow. You don't have to think. The whole time at retreat, you don't have to think. We'll tell you when to be, where to be. And we also do really cool stuff that I can't reveal, where we really push people. And, you know, we do some really intense stuff that I know we've done together. And you know why we can't. It also, if I told you, it sounds weird. You know what I mean?
It sounds weird to outsiders, but then it ruins the process.
It ruins the process because it's secret.
Exactly.
So we do a lot of processes that, you know, I've discovered myself, that I've Googled. We actually created some of ourselves as well. And we just go super, super, super deep, where you just get to be completely reset. So I think a lot of retreats I see out there are just like, come along, do some yoga and hang out. And that's kind of it. And it's like, no, ours are super intentional, very structured, a lot of, you know, intentional stuff. We have a real, like 4, 5, 6 team members as well. Everyone there. We got people shooting content the whole time, doing one-on-one conversations if we need to, managing the energy of every single different part. And so we just put a lot of work and energy into making these retreats as like amazing as possible. It's almost hard to explain, to be fair. Like I'm struggling to articulate why I think they're so amazing. We've got some cool testimonials. Maybe they could, you know, the testimonials show you a better version of people saying, like, just the connection at these retreats is like something you never experience. Like people are just like, just through the just crazy connections. Like no one wants to leave. It's like, it's kind of like a little mini commune for like a week. You know, all your food's sorted for you, everything's done for you. Everyone's in this little bubble where we're all just here hanging out. The world doesn't exist outside of this for a week, and then you go back to reality after that.
It's powerful stuff. Having things planned out for us, whether we do it ourselves or whether it's done for us. Like when I'm organized, when my life is organized, it just makes everything so much easier.
It's why I think people like Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to think. You just show up and people, they do everything for you.
Yeah.
And you pay a premium for that.
Exactly.
You know, if you go to Greek islands, you can probably do it for $2,000, or you can pay Kentucky $4,000 and everything's done for you.
Exactly.
And people go, and I get to meet people.
Yes.
And so you're going to give me a bus full of people that I can meet that are my age. I don't have to think, you know, tell me where to go. Our accommodation's sorted. It's the same sort of mentality. It's like all that's sorted. All you have to do is come up, be present and work on yourself. You don't have to think about anything else. And we had one girl at the end of it. She was like, you know, for 24 years, I've been so scattered. And this is the first time I felt at peace in 24 years.
Wow.
And like, I don't feel anxious or nervous. I just feel so present and so calm. And I just feel like this is what life should be. And I was like, wow, that's That's awesome, because life is so fast and hectic, and our brains haven't evolved to keep up with the modern world, because it's just like everything is just being, you know, hit at you a million miles an hour. And, you know, sometimes we need to take a step back and just breathe and just slow down and, you know, reconnect.
Did she say that to you after a particular process or at the end of the retreat?
That was just at the end, when we were just asking everyone what's been your favorite thing. And she was just like, she just pulled that out and was just like, and it was really beautiful. She said a much longer version. And I've had people after breathwork say that. Just after a 25-minute breathwork session I've done. They're like, I just feel completely at peace. I've never felt like this. After 25 minutes of breathing. You know, we push them quite hard in the 25 minutes. Like I do rounds and loud music and we really get them connected. But yeah, we've had people just be like, I've never felt so emotional in 25 minutes of breathwork. Like this isn't crazy stuff. It's just, but we don't even take time to do that. No. You know, we just never make time. It's like meditating. People say like, I don't have time to meditate. Everyone has 10 minutes a day.
You need to meditate more than anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have time to meditate, then that's why you should meditate. And I'm terrible at meditating. Like I prefer breath work because it gives me something to do. Yeah. But even then, I don't do breath work every day. I should. I have the time to. You just don't prioritize it. And it's just like life gets so hectic. So, and it's only going to get worse, I think. You know, I really do believe with the world of AI, there's going to be like this, you know, the next level of hippies are going to be people that just like, you know, leave the world of AI and just like go live out in the bush or something, which honestly sounds good.
Oh, I reckon that's
like, and AI is getting, you see the stuff that's coming out and you're just like, oh man, this is just the beginning. Like it's only going to get worse from here and better. Like there's a lot of good things about AI, of course, but it is worrying about where the world's heading.
Well, what do you think is the future with AI? Do you think we're going to live more in harmony and it's going to allow us to live better lives? Or do you think it's going to eat us up and spit us out? Man,
if I was a betting man, the latter.
Really?
I don't know. Like, has AI given anyone more harmony right now? Like, it makes maybe university students, you know, like people that can use it to cheat on their exams and stuff. Or like, I don't know. Like AI, I use AI a lot as well. It's super helpful for me. Definitely hasn't given me more harmony. I don't know. Honestly, who knows? I think it could go either way. They're talking about universal income, you know, which is like basically where it's like AI is going to take over so many jobs that the government will have to start give like a universal income to people. So it's like, I don't know, let's say $1,000 a week. Like everyone in Australia just gets $1,000 a week just by existing in a way. But there's obviously economical impacts of that. And, you know, also if you took away work from everybody, what are they going to do? Like work gives people purpose and something to do. Like, I don't know. I think it's a interesting world to go from. So we'll see what happens. What about you? What do you think?
I think, I mean, I'm a fucking severe optimist at heart. So I'll always look for the positives and I'll sink my beliefs into that. But I invest into the belief that we are going to live in harmony because what it's going to do is it's going to create more opportunities for people to do what they actually want to do. So like, for example, you've got a bunch of people working 9 to 5s doing shit that they fucking hate. And so in those instances, AI is going to be able to do the shit that they don't want to do. And then they can work more on their passion projects and they can do the stuff that actually brings them joy, brings them value. And because not everybody wants to be a billionaire. Not everybody even wants to be a millionaire. They just want their bills covered and they want to be able to eat well and hang out with their family. And I think, like, I truly believe that is going to be so achievable for people when they can invest more time into the stuff that they love.
And that's the argument for the universal income. Is it's like, well, yeah, what do people do? They'll live. They'll hang out with their family. They'll do this stuff, that would be amazing. And definitely there is a world where that happens, hopefully. And maybe there's like, people look back on us and go, man, they used to work 40 hours a week. Can you imagine having to do that? Like, I think they used to work 80 hours a week in like the factories, the way we look back and go, that sounds awful. People are going to look back on that maybe. Yeah. Who knows? And it's, you know, obviously there's a lot of healthcare benefits to AI and the medical center and medical industry and whatnot. But also, you know, you're seeing people, I'm hearing stories of like even some friends, like we're at a party and someone was saying she caught her friend using AI to respond to her friend's message. So it's like asking AI, how do I respond to my friend? It's like, what? Yeah. That's not a good use of AI. No. That's like,
you're literally frying your brain. You might as well do crack.
I heard another thing about like, you know, was writing a message to her grandma, using AI to write a message to your grandma. And you're just like, oh my gosh. Like, and that's where the world's heading. Like, I think there's a lot of that. So it really depends on your perspective, I guess.
For sure.
And I've listened to a lot of AI podcasts. Everyone says the same shit. No one knows. Yeah. Even the most like AI, you know, people that have been in the industry for 20, 30 years, they're like, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. I hope it's this, but how do we know?
Well, this is the thing. It's like, what can you do? What's within your control? And then doing exactly what you're doing is one of the most effective things that you could do as someone who loves people and loves to make an impact. Because the problem, and I'd be interested to get your perspective on this, but I feel like the problem with it is people feel like they need it. So then it's like, well, why do you feel like they need it? Well, they don't feel confident enough to reply to their friend. They don't feel like they're smart enough or whatever. So it's like, what can you do to fix the real problem, which is the core of it? And I guess this is a really excellent circle back to something that I wrote down that I wanted to discuss with you before. You've done a lot of deep work with the DYP programs on the weekend events, but then also at the retreat. So what have you noticed that is common across people when it comes down to insecurities and fears? Like, what's the core of the people that you're working with?
I think one thing I've noticed a lot is the inner child thing seems to really connect. Like, it's something I haven't really done that much, but when I started introducing it into the program, I first of all find it really powerful. And then I kept getting good feedback, and I kept adding more and more stuff about inner child, like really visualizing and like, you know, apologizing to that younger version of yourself and whatnot. And people really love that. Another thing I see, a common thing with Driven Young and the retreat, is like a lot of people say, you know, coming to retreat, it's the first time I've done something for myself in a long time. And like a very common thing is people always saying they put everyone else first. They always put their friends or family first, and they never look after themselves. And there's a quote that I love, and it's like, in the modern world, we say, I'll look after you if you look after me. But, you know, he said, no, we've got the wrong way around. You know, I'll look after me for you if you look after you for me. And I think that kind of encapsulates a lot of the things I'm seeing in Driven Young and with young people, is like, it's one of the rare times where they invest in themselves and they look after them. And that's what retreat is. It's like, you're investing in yourself. You're here for you. There's no one else. Even the couples, we had couples. You're not here for your partner. You're here completely for you. You know, we split up the couples a lot, and they still get to spend a lot of time with each other. But it's really just like spending time looking after yourself. A lot of people are not doing that. They're just so stuck in emotions, helping other people. They forget to look after themselves. And that's important. So that's definitely a big thing. In terms of fears and insecurities and doubts, you know, I think realizing how bad mental health is for young people. Just like everyone's, like, you know, you mentioned anxiety, everyone's hands go up. You know, depression, half the room goes up, maybe more. Suicide, a quarter of the room goes up. They've all like attempted or something. You know, I'm not asking that question, but that's like, if I was to guess, like from conversations and from what I've seen.
Even if they haven't attempted, they've at least had those suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, it's shockingly a large amount of people have like gotten real deep into like bad mental health. And I'm just like, man, this is really sad, really disappointing to see that that's happening at such a high level, which obviously, you know, because you see the data, you see the stats and stuff, but you know, you seeing it Driven Young firsthand, like actually having conversations with people, you're like, oh man, it's just crazy. So yeah, that's a big thing. One of the fears that came up interesting retreat was, and it was, I think a lot of people resonated with it, was like the fear of passing on this kind of generational trauma to their kids if they decide to have kids one day. I think our generation is a lot more mindful of like the potential trauma or like whatever's been passed down from their parents or like whatever. And they're like, they don't want to pass that down. So either we just don't have kids or we figure out a way not to do that. And I don't know, I thought it was a very interesting conversation that kind of came up, and a lot of people were talking about that. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Because I do think we are more mindful of, you know, I also like, there's also, you know, raising kids in the modern world with iPads and everything. It's like, it's tricky, and you hear stories. So yeah, I just think mental health is real bad. That's probably the easiest. It's a long-winded way of asking a question, but it's nothing unique or creative, nothing insightful I can share. It's just not good.
Yeah. Why is it so bad?
Man, who knows?
What's your intuition tell you? Like, because you've worked with a lot of people. Yes, you were privileged in the sense that you grew up with both of your parents. Not to say that you didn't have your own struggles. Like we spoke last time on the podcast that your house burned down, and I know that you told me one time that you told this story at Empower You that had everyone crying, that I, funnily enough, think about all the time. I'm like, I wonder what he was talking about. So like, everyone goes through their own version of shit. But based on what you've observed and then just your own extrapolation, why do you think it is so bad?
I think just a combination of everything. It's social media hasn't helped, absolutely. At Driven Young, we have a lot of neurodiverse people, as in like autism, ADHD and stuff. And yeah, I mean, a lot of that can lead to other versions of mental health and stuff. So I don't know if that's played a role, probably. Yeah, social media, just the whole world right now. I think COVID didn't help. We're not as social. We're social creatures, yet we're not being very social. Expectations, a lot of people have huge expectations on them of what they have to achieve, especially the cultural background. You know, like a lot of people who are like Indian or Asian backgrounds have like really high expectations from their parents to like go to uni and be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, those sorts of things. I've had a lot of conversations with people about that. And just, I think everything, I do think social media has played a huge role in mental health and our expectations of what our body should be and like what we should be doing and how everyone's living a better life than us, it seems. And we're not, you know, our expectations are way, way infinitely higher than like our grandparents or our parents, because their expectation was like, kind of just get a job, live life, maybe get to travel once a year if you're lucky. And they're probably grateful for that. And now that's a shit life according to us. You know, it's a privilege if you get to work full time, you get to travel 4 weeks a year. You're in the top 1% just by doing that of the world, really. Like, you can't even do that in America. America, they get like 2 weeks off or something. I don't know. I hear the holiday in America is like crazy. So yeah, I think expectations has completely screwed us over quite a lot.
Talk to me about your own mental health.
I've never struggled to the degree of like depression or obviously you get anxiety, different things. I don't know. I think I've never been that bad. I've always been, and I've gone through a lot of like really tough stuff. And I do think there is some genetic stuff there where maybe some people are just genetically less susceptible to having depression, anxiety, mental health issues and stuff. But yeah, for me, it's definitely like one of the toughest things was when I did my shoulder. I had like a surgery on my shoulder and I was just like, you know, essentially not bedridden, but I couldn't do much. And man, that was tough because I couldn't sleep well because I had to lie on my back the whole night. So I'd wake up all the time. I dreaded going to sleep, which means I'd play video games until midnight because I just didn't want to sleep because I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to go to sleep. So my sleep was really bad. I was staying up really late. I wasn't eating very much. So I was losing weight, losing all the muscle I'd put on and like any gains I'd made. So I was like, that sucks. So I wasn't happy with that. And then my mental health was that was when I got real bad. And the business was, you know, working through some stuff there. And that was like real challenging. So I think it's really just like focusing on always, you know, eating as well as I can, exercising as much as I can, being around as people as much as I can. That's the biggest thing for me. Yeah, I've never really struggled a huge amounts. And I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's genetic. Maybe it's also like I do, you know, try to adopt a growth mindset as much as possible. Like, okay, how do I take accountability, responsibility, ownership for like, you know, anything that's happening? How do I get better? How do I get better? Those sorts of things. So yeah, for me, I haven't had a huge journey with it, but a lot of people in my life have. And yeah, it's sad seeing people go down that pathway.
What do you think are the common denominators for people who have struggled with their mental health?
Support network. I just think they're often quite lonely. It's probably the biggest one. If I was to guess, based on what I've seen, I think the biggest indicator for young people right now for mental health is they're just quite lonely. Because a lot of people have this thing where it's like, why do I feel lonely even though I have friends? They've got friends, yet they still feel this deep loneliness because their friends are not that great. They're not having deep conversations. They're not really having fulfilling friendships that are like making them feel fulfilled. And so they still feel lonely even though they've got people in their life. Maybe they're people from high school that they're stuck with and they just didn't find new friends or they haven't left their bubble or whatever it is. That's a very, very common thing. So I think loneliness and social media, and they go hand in hand. You know, I think we're lonelier due to social media, but social media has, you know, phone addictions. I think everyone's addicted to their phone pretty much.
Are you?
Probably. I mean, I don't know what classifies as an addiction. I think I'm better than most. Like I have a lot of blockers in place and I have like time limits on a lot of things that I can't access unless I need to. Yeah. But I still definitely like go on my phone more than I'd like to. Yeah. But you see people that are doing like 6, 7, 8 hours a day on their phone and you're like, God, that's a full working day every day on their phone, you know? So yeah, I think they're probably, from what I've seen, the two biggest contributing factors to mental health for young people. Did
you feel lonely growing up, or did you have a great relationship with both your parents and your siblings? What was that like?
Good relationship with my family. I think I felt a little bit lonely in school, high school a little bit. Like I had good friends, but it was kind of that like, I had no best friends and I was kind of floating between groups. I feel like I didn't have a solid friendship group. I had one or two maybe, but even then I just felt like I was floating a bit. And I didn't feel like I had my core group. I hopped into lots of different groups. But I wasn't like lonely. But I definitely wasn't like 10 out of 10, like had amazing friends and was fulfilled like I do now with like some of my mates who have done some really cool stuff together, had some awesome conversations. So now that I've experienced that, I can definitely say like I didn't have amazing friendships in high school. There's a few guys I love, you know, I still see them every now and then, but I'm not really friends with anyone from high school, just like a few people here and there.
Mm-hmm. And mum and dad, as early as you can remember, how was your relationship with both of them?
Yeah, always good. Yeah, no, I've got really, really good parents. So I think that's my biggest blessing. Just amazing parents that have like always put us first in like everything. That whenever it came to any decisions, it was always like kids first. So I was very, very lucky for that. And actually, my dad was just at the retreat we just ran, and it was awesome having him there.
He was there?
Yeah. He loved it, and I want to do the father-son retreat with him, which would be awesome. Because he's also like got a psychology degree. He's worked with a lot of men in like recovery and addicts, domestic abuse. He does a lot of government programs, rehabilitation stuff.
How long has he been a psychologist for?
He's not a psychologist. He's just got a psychology degree.
Gotcha.
And he does like he's done a lot of different stuff, but currently he's doing like stuff for the government where they're doing rehabilitation for domestic violence, and not the victims, like the abusers.
Yeah.
So they're like part of their like sentencing would be they have to do, 10 sessions of rehabilitation, and he'll run those, which is obviously tough. They're like as tough as it gets. Like he was saying at retreat, he's like, man, everyone here is because they're so young and so full of life, they crack and open up so quickly compared to the people he works with. He's like, the people I work with are like hard coconuts, and just getting one little crack into them is a huge victory, because they're 20, 40 years of like deep trauma, like serious like abuse and sexual assault, and like, they're the people that have gone through the biggest amount of shit that he's working with. So yeah, it is cool to work with the people we work with as well. Driven young, people less trauma. They're in their 20s, less shit they've gone through yet. Give them that by the time they're 50, gone through a bit more. So
what do you do when you have people at the DYP weekend, and then you have people at the retreat who have been through some hectic stuff? Like, how do you deal with that, and what's your role in that story?
It's a good question, because like we're not therapy, and we're not like qualified to go like super deep into that stuff. So I'm very mindful of like how deep we go. So I have like little disclaimers I always say when we're about to go real deep. I say, hey, like let's not go too deep, but let's also go as deep as we can. But let's not mention, like, let's say someone was sexually assaulted and they wanted to bring that up. It's probably just too intense to bring up. It might trigger people who have also experienced that. So you could just maybe bring it up in a vague way without mentioning it specifically, or just don't bring it up at all, or come ask one of the team. In terms of retreat's good because it's a lot less people. Our weekends are like 80 plus, retreats like 25 to 30. So we can have a lot more one-on-ones, and we've got 6 days together. So yeah, that's why we have a team there. If someone gets overwhelmed, take them out, have a conversation with them, go sit by the pool. Like, we do have one-on-ones at retreat to make sure everyone can like be in a good state. But it's also why our golden rule for facilitating one-on-ones is never give advice. Like, you're not there to give them advice. Okay. You're there to just basically just listen to them and make them feel better.
Yeah.
We're not qualified people in this. And it's just not a space I want to go down. So you just listen to them, make them feel better, probe, ask them, how does that make you feel? What's going on with you right now? Like, just really, make them feel good. And the other thing is, don't trauma bond. It's very common for people to be like, oh, I had shit parents. My parents went through a divorce. Oh, my parents went through a divorce as well. I know exactly how you feel. And it's like, and then you kind of start bonding over, shit stuff. And that's not what we want from the team members. So we've got trainings, we've got guides, we've got a whole bunch of stuff we do when people join our team. But I'm also very, very selective with who joins the team. Like, super selective, because I don't need a huge team. So I want like the highest quality people we can get. And right now, our current team are awesome. They're all been with me for like at least a year or two, and they're like, Adam's on the team. He's like, yeah, our team's really good.
I love what you were saying before about not giving advice, because when I think about my own life, and I think about the things that have been most effective in my journey through curing mental illness. And I actually did a talk on stage a couple of weeks ago about this. And I was like, one of the number one things that I was able to do was not necessarily spend so much time and energy with psychologists and counselors. There's nothing wrong with it. But what I realized is that I didn't like having to explain my story to someone, take the gamble of whether they're going to understand me or not, and then have them tell me that my time is up after an hour. And then so what that did for me is then I've gotten to a place where I realized that most people don't need therapy. They need somebody that they can trust, who can hold space, who isn't going to try and fix it, but is just going to listen and sit in the shit with them. Because most people can solve their own problems on their own if you just give them enough time to fucking talk about it.
Dude, I agree. Like, there's that quote. It's like, I mean, I've seen a quote. It's like, most men need therapy or something. It's like most men, a lot of people probably do, but a lot of them don't need therapy. They just need someone to talk to.
Exactly.
And it's like they need someone to talk to who's not going to try to fix it, exactly as you say, who's just going to sit there and listen. And I do think our generation has swung a little too far when it comes to like sharing this stuff. It's like, oh, I don't want to share too deep stuff with you. That should be for my therapist. It's like, fuck it. You're my best friend. Yeah. What do you want to tell me? Like, my best few friends, they can say whatever they want. I'll listen. Like, it's not too much or too much. Like, even if it's like, because it takes a lot of energy to hold space and to listen to somebody and be really present. Even if you find it draining, that's why they're your best friends.
Yeah.
You should be there to give them space. And I think that's what I mean about the quality of friendships. Like, I do agree. I think a lot of people don't need therapy as much as they need just somebody to talk to and to have better people around them that they can almost kind of get that same impact of therapy, but having that around them. Obviously, there are people that do need it, but I do think if we had better circles, there would be less mental health. Better connections equals less mental health for sure. 100%. I think it's undoubtable.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, is it the biggest contributor to mental health? I don't know. It's got to be like up there though, in terms of like, is loneliness and not having good connections. It's got to be one of the biggest contributors to.
Oh, it has to be, man. It has to be. Like, you look at some of the most successful people in the world. They don't have these extravagant routines where they're waking up and they're doing this ice bath, this meditation, this sauna. More often than not, the common denominator for them is they have a close circle. They have a really close circle.
100%. It's like the most important thing in life. Yeah. The relationships you have, the relationships and the memories you create. And a lot of times, the best memories you have are with the people. Like, a lot of people talk about like solo dates and stuff. I think it's awesome. Personally, I don't love it. Like, it feels weird for me to go sit down by myself. Like, I want to be with somebody. I want to chat. I want to have a conversation. I want to, even solo traveling. It's like solo traveling sounds cool to me because I get to meet all these new people. Yeah. If solo traveling was just solo traveling and you're not meeting anyone, to me, that's not as exciting. I do think there's something to be said for like doing like a hike by yourself for 5 or 6 days. You'll learn a lot about yourself. But that's what life's all about. Meeting people, connecting, relationships, creating memories. And like, there was a question at retreat. And one of the guys went around writing and he was like, man, what's going on?
Do you need
Is that you?
That's definitely not me.
That's someone else's phone. No, it's nothing. There's a guy at retreat and he had a question. He got everyone to write an answer. And it was like, what do you want to be remembered for? And I was like, oh man, it really got me thinking. I was like, shit, what do I want to be remembered for? And I wrote an answer. And then I remember like 2 days later, I was like lying in bed. I was like, man, I don't feel like that was my correct answer. I think the thing I landed on is I want to be remembered for gifting people memories. Like, something I love to do is like, how do I gift people memories? Like, either it's, they sign up to retreat and they've just got like a lifetime worth of memories. Driven Young is all about creating memories and people and stuff. Or even the best presents I've given have been like not physical, but like a flight or like, it's like a trip or something. And it's like, I think that's what I want to be remembered for. Is like, how do I give people memories? And that's why retreat ties in so great to that. Because I think there's, if you gave me a week, there's nothing more impactful I could do than a retreat as of right now. Maybe as I get more experience, there's some more cool stuff we can do, but that's why I'm looking to double down on it, because it's like just amazing.
No, I love that. Oh, I love that. I was about to say something and then it just
you lost it?
Completely left my mind. And
that's
then
right.
I was like, are you going to stop talking? And then you did. I'm like, shit. Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. You don't, and people might not think about this, but it's like you do one thing, you don't realize the compounding effect that's going to have on somebody's life. And I just think back to my own experience with you, and I remember to this day vividly, I was away, I was in Parks working for Samsung, and I was booked in for your webinar for DYP, and I remember getting on, and I'm thinking like, as soon as we got on, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to sell me something. But then I'm like, okay, I'll hear him out.
Yeah,
and then we got to the end, and then you said that we're going to go on a boat, and then at the end, we're going to have a formal party. And I'm like, shit, fuck, okay. And I've never invested in myself ever in my life. Like, only it was drugs and alcohol. That was it. Before that, I never invested in myself like that. And I'm like, there was just something inside me. It's like, okay, let's do it.
Mm.
Let's do it. And then that experience, being able to meet the people in that program, connect to you, you introduced me to my next mentor, who introduced me to my next mentor.
Yep.
And ultimately, that's literally why we're even sitting here. Obviously, because of the program, because otherwise, how else would we know each other? But then, just to go deeper than that, like that was the beginning of something insane. And it was all through just being able to connect, and because you had that pure desire of wanting to help people, wanting to help them to learn, wanting to help them connect.
And that was my real initial, like, that was my initial drive for starting the program. I feel like that's faded a lot since, like, as you go through, like, all the learnings and everything. Like, that's why I'm switching. I've lost a bit of passion for the original thing that we're doing. I still love it, but I think, like, times have changed a bit. And especially we were really riding the COVID wave, like the loneliness wave. Like, it was right after COVID we launched it. And that's $1,000, man. You know, taking one opportunity. Like, that's like with a program, like, man, if you jump in a program, you never know what's going to happen with something like that. Same with a retreat. You know, you get 30 founders in a room, you never know who you're going to meet. Like, if we charge $5,000 for a retreat, like, man, if they're doing good revenue, they'll make that money back in a heartbeat through one connection.
Oh, dude.
And or just like, there's so many ways they can just like connect with all these different people, and like, or nothing happens. Who knows? It's not a guaranteed thing. They might meet nobody they vibe with and nothing comes from it. Unlikely, I think. But, you know, the 1,000 doors, you never know what's behind one door. You said yes to Driven Young. That didn't inherently open up a huge amount of opportunities for you, but then you connecting with me, connecting with the next person, that started opening up, and now you're a completely different person because one door at a time led to wherever you are now. And so behind one door could be 1,000 more. That's the whole thing. And so start opening doors, start saying yes to opportunities, because most people don't. Most people watch that webinar and go, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then they miss out. And that's fine. But, you know, I think, like you specifically, like, money comes and goes. And it's easier to say that when you've got money. But, I mean, I don't have a huge amount of money, but I still feel like money comes, like, the way I associate money, like, I just don't feel anything to it almost. It's just like a tool to try to build the life that I want and the impact that I want to build.
Yeah.
And, like, it comes and goes. Like, if you make $1,000 on an investment and in yourself, like, that's the number one thing you should be investing into is yourself, especially while you're young. Yeah. While you're young, put $1,000 in the stock market. Sure, do it. Spend it on a program or like even traveling. It doesn't have to be like something we're talking about, something I'm selling. It can just be like, go travel. Yeah. That's still investing in yourself a bit. You know, go see the world, get outside a bit. You know, go see what's happening out there and go connect with people and see what's happening.
Exactly. It's like, for people listening, it's like, you do not buy our stuff unless you're called to it, but do buy stuff for you. Invest in yourself. It is literally the best investment you could ever make in your fucking life, and especially in your 20s.
Man, because the compounding effect of doing it now is absolutely, like, literally life-changing. Like, a small investment now, a small mindset change now, or a small change you make now, in 20 years' time will be a completely different life. In 1 year's time, it'll be a completely different life. But you can imagine, you know, we've done weekend events with, like, I think you have done, like, the adult ones, like Break Free.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's really cool. But, man, there's a lot of regret in that room. It's like, God, I wish, why hadn't I done this?
Different energy.
Very different energy. Whereas when you're doing it with young people, it's full of hope. They're like, I'm excited for life. Whereas a lot of people go, I'm excited, but I'm also like, holy shit.
I've wasted up my life.
Yeah. It's like, I should have done this when I was in my 20s. I wish I knew about this when I was in my 20s. So, like, the compounding effect of personal development and taking these big actions is, like, so big. Like, it's unquantifiable because you can't possibly quantify it. Yeah. But, you know, one action can change your whole life.
And money comes and goes. Like, some people might look at the life that I live online and think, oh, Peachy's got it all figured out. Peachy's got all this money. Like, bro, I'm in more debt now than I ever have been in my fucking life. I come back from overseas and I'm eating 2-minute noodles and tuna until I start to get more revenue and pick myself back up. And it's like, money comes and goes. It doesn't mean that you don't value it whatsoever, but it's like, it's not the end of the fucking world.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you got, like, as long as you're surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, again, like, when you're in your 20s, it's so much easier to do that. You probably can't, if you've got kids, you can't be eating 2-minute noodles and, like, you know, you can't afford to doing this lifestyle. But that's just, like, that's why I'm big on, like, for young people, it's like, do this stuff now. Yeah. The second you have kids, almost all my advice goes out the window. It's like, oh, but I've got kids. It's like, yeah, fair enough. Like, a lot of the stuff I talk about doesn't suit. Like, it's still doable. It's just a lot harder.
Yeah, exactly. More friction.
Yeah. 100%.
What was the best investment that you have made? Like, probably in yourself, but then think about specifically, where did you grow the most?
Man, that's a good question. I think one of the best decisions... one of the best decisions I made was applying for the first job I got. First main job I got was like texting him. Like I applied for the job and then I sent him this huge message. And then I just basically said, like, he gave me a price. I'll give you $500 a week. I said yes. And that kind of just opened me up to like...
This was video guy?
Yeah. This is when I started as a videographer for this business owner. Yeah. I followed him around for 2 years, just creating content for him. Mm-hmm. Learned all about business, learned all about connected. My whole network grew from that. Because I was his video guy, everyone wanted me because I was his video guy. So I started landing clients. I started my business off the back of that. I started a podcast off the back of that because I learned about podcasting and how cool that was. So like that was probably the biggest decision I ever made was like sitting in, I remember film school a year after high school, seeing a Facebook ad, clicking on that, applying for the job, and then messaging him, telling him how good I would be and how I'm the perfect fit for the job. And then that kind of changed my whole life in a way. So not a financial investment, but in terms of financial investments, I'm not even sure. That's hard. That's hard, honestly. It's
think about it. I'm just going to check this camera.
Yeah, all good.
But then I want to come back to this. This is so important. Okay, I'm going to just move it so that I can see your beautiful face. There we go. Yeah, so in what, investing in yourself, what have you made? Coaches, programs, retreats, like you can...
I actually haven't done a huge amount, to be honest. What? I feel like, I read a lot of books and I've invested into a lot of marketing courses, like a shit ton of money into marketing courses. And yeah, it's hard. I haven't invested a huge, like I've invested a lot of money, like marketing course, like specific courses on business and like niches I need, like marketing and like ads and stuff. But a lot of it has just been like I've connected with people and I've just kind of learned from them. So I'm not too sure. I did a public speaking course. It was $6,000. That was good. I really enjoyed that. And that was really cool. It was a lot of money, especially I was like 19 or something. So that was probably one of the biggest investments I made. Just like,
what course was that?
It was just like in Sydney, 6.5 days in person, like 8-hour days, just working my ass off, just learning how to public speak. Really good. The guy's freaking, he's a beast.
Who was it?
I think it was called like Authentic Education.
Who's the guy?
Ben Harvey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's really good. Yeah, so that was cool. That was probably a good investment. And then, there's definitely been business investments, like, employing someone or like hiring different things. I don't have a good answer for that, I feel like. I think the best thing I did was just like signing up to that job, honestly. Because that was my mentorship. Yeah. I essentially got paid for it. I got paid to learn how to mentor, which is the best way to do it. Work for someone.
Yes.
Because you can pay someone 10 grand, or you can go work for someone and you get paid while doing it and you get to learn. It's a little life hack.
Little cheat code.
Yeah, cheat code.
Given that the space that you're in, does it make you want to invest more into retreats and to experiences for yourself so that you can continue to grow?
It's interesting because I feel like if I go to retreats, I don't know, is it a little unethical to do if it's like, because I'm going to see how they run it, even though I'd like to do my own one. I don't know. I definitely want to do more though, to see what other people do. And also I think it's just a good thing to do. But I still get the effect of retreat hosting it. It's not as much as doing it because I'm still quite stressed and running it. But like I feel a lot energized after my last retreat. Like, yeah, I definitely feel energized after my last retreat versus, doing one, I'd still be energized. So I don't know if I want to do it, if it's a little unethical to like...
Why would it be unethical? Do you feel like you're stealing or something?
Yeah. But maybe I guess if you went to a breathwork person, you wouldn't care.
No, literally. Like, to be fair, I was at this Dream Fest on the weekend. And one of the two key drivers on why I bought a ticket to their Dream Out Loud method, the two things was, one, I wanted to network with other people who are into this, and two, I wanted to see how he does it. And that was literally it. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. Because, it's not like you're not... I guess it just comes down to your intentions.
Yeah.
And for sure, you can borrow some stuff, but it's not really stealing because at the end of the day, nobody owns anything.
Yeah.
And nobody is you.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's a big thing. Because that's why I'm like, if someone came to my retreat and they stole it, it's like, I don't really care because you're not me.
Yeah.
It's like the way I host it, the way I run it, it's a lot of years and years of work. Like you can take some of the stuff we do, the processes we created, but like, you're not me.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And because you use it as inspiration, but then you make it your own.
That's it.
It's like you got a lot of inspiration from Empower You, but then you made it your own.
Yeah.
Brent got a lot of inspiration from Tony Robbins and all the other stuff that he went to, but then he made it his own. So it's like, that's what people do.
Yeah. There's a famous one that's been around since like the 80s. I forget what it's called, But I think a lot of personal development has come from like that one original one from like the 80s.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of like twisted it into their own thing. So I forgot what it's called, but yeah, that's exactly right. You see something, and then you take it and you make it your own. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, I think of the detox breathwork course that I ran when I was in India. You know, that was my inspiration from all the stuff that I've learned from everybody.
For sure. Yeah,
and then it's like those people needed that. Like some of the transformations that I saw in that was just mind blowing. And I'm watching it happen, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like these people need me just as much as I need them, 100%. And then I learn just as much from them, just as they learn from me. Like it's such a
symbiotic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. What comes to mind when I wrote down identity before? What is identity, and why is that the core of people?
Identity?
Yeah.
Man, I think most people are lost, right? And that's fine. You should be lost in your 20s. That's completely normal. I do think so many people are trying to figure out who they are. Like, who am I? What am I doing? What am I doing in my career? Is this what I want to do as a person? I do think so many people, including myself, like right now, I'm very confident in who I am and what I do and my values, my beliefs, like very confident in that. But I'm also like, yeah, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Like right now I'm focusing on retreats. Is that where I want to be in 5 years? I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. So I do think a lot of personal development is figuring out your identity and who you are. It's maybe the heart of it. It's like, who are you? What are your beliefs? What are your values? And in your 20s is the best time to be figuring that stuff out. Because I think a lot of people don't figure it out, and then they just never do. They're just like kind of very lost. They're not sure who they are. And that's not a way I think you want to live life, just being very lost and confused and just not sure. And again, this is all airy-fairy. It's like, what are we saying here? It's like, what is identity? It's all, I think if you're lost, you understand. But that's a big part of personal development. It's figuring out who you are. What am I doing in my life? What do I actually believe in?
How does someone... what would you say? Do they uncover? Do they discover? Do they build?
Start doing shit. I can tell you how not to do it. Maybe that's a better way.
Yeah, hit me.
Don't do the same stuff you've been doing. You want to discover who it is? Here's what not to do. Just keep doing the same job with the same friends, the same people, and do the same shit. If you want to discover who you are, go travel. Go move to another city. Go do whatever it is. Like just do something different, and you're with different people, and you're going to start to discover who you are and different perspectives. Like we get really stuck in bubbles in Australia. We have a little bubble and we stay there, and that's it. You kind of stay in that bubble, and if it's drugs and alcohol, or if it's negative thinking, or if it's whatever it is, if it's whatever, that's the bubble that we get stuck in and we don't leave. So get out of your bubble. So just don't do the same thing you're doing. That's the only thing. Otherwise, the world is yours. There's no specific thing you should do. There's a million things you could do, but just don't do the things that you're currently doing. Just go do something different.
Beliefs and values. How does someone understand what they are, and why is that so important?
I did an episode with a psychologist, and she spoke a lot about the idea of like figuring out your kind of 5 core values in life and like what are they and stuff. I think without values gives you like a bit of a direction on how to behave and stuff. Like, a lot of people in Christianity have their values from Christianity, or like religion has values kind of baked into it. So a lot of people have their like beliefs and values from their religion. If you're not religious, it's often like, what are my values? What am I doing? And people don't even think about this ever. Like values, you've never thought about that. They probably have their own values, but it's really good to consciously think about it. The psychologist I had on the podcast, she always said like, if you can name it, you can tame it. Like just start naming them. What are your actual values? Like for me, connection is like number one. And when I like to say connection / relationship / community, but like, it's like connection is like having really like good relationships. It's why I'm living in a house with 6 people right now. It's like, I would rather do that than live by myself or just with my girlfriend. Because like, I want to be around these people. It's like, when you live with people, it's like more organic stuff happens in life when you're around people. I think we're missing a lot of those organic moments from life where it's like in Friends or the sitcoms where they just like go out and something magical happens. And it's just like, because it's so hard to plan stuff with people. And we spend weeks planning stuff. And it's like, when are you free? When am I free? And we miss out on these organic moments of like, let's just go to the pub next door. Let's just like go for a walk. And something happens, and it's just like these unintentionally planned moments that I think are really beautiful. And so yeah, like I saw this video on TikTok, and it was like, this is our street at 5 p.m. and it was like all these families out on the street playing basketball and everything. And I was like, man, that's what life should be. Like that's cool. But everyone's so isolated now, and we're very individualistic in Australia at least, so we don't have that as much.
What are your top 3 or 5 values?
For me, connection and like relationships is definitely a big one. Authenticity, like absolutely. And maybe this is probably like generic ones everyone would say, but you know, they're generic for a reason. These are important things. So connection, authenticity is a big one, like really being authentically me, like not wearing any masks, not pretending to be somebody around certain people. It's like when you meet me, this is me. That's it. That's a big one for me. Like health and like, you know, like mental well-being, like really looking after the body, I think is a big focus for me. So I do a lot of yoga purely like my dad has back injuries and I'm like, I've seen how much it's impacted his life.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, how do I do everything I can to prevent that from happening? And I'm a big believer in trying to, preventative medical stuff as opposed to like, the medical industry is more about how do we fix the issue? So how do I just make sure the issue doesn't come up? So it's like doing everything I can. Obviously, people get cancer through bad luck or like, there's bad luck, but by being healthy, you're obviously limiting your chances of getting stuff like that. So that's a huge one for me. I think a big one for me now is like fun. Having fun. Like I don't think that's something with me and Pace talk about a lot. Like we often neglect that. It's like, we should be having more fun. Just be happy. Like, we should be doing more fun shit as opposed to just like being serious and business mode all the time. So probably my top 4 right now. But I mean, your values change, right?
Exactly.
Don't feel like they're like locked in. This is who I have to become. It's like you change throughout your life. So that's my current ones. And maybe in 2 more years we'll do another podcast and it's changed.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? You'll have a couple kids by then.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Oh, my top one is God. And for me, my listeners will know this, but for me, God is not like the creator. My God is my ancestors, my nan and my pop, and it's the universe. I've built a relationship with that to the point where for me it's undeniable. And I know that when I am living a life that I love, I'm connected to them. So that's number 1. Number 2 is health. And then number 3 is authenticity.
Yeah.
And this is me trial and error because when I first because you hear about beliefs and values, but it wasn't until a few months ago when I started working with like a high level coach that I started to go back into and go over with a fine tooth comb. Like, what are my values? Really? And then why is that it? And there was a period of like 4 weeks where I was like, who the fuck am I? Because the stuff that I thought I valued, I didn't value. And I felt so shit. Like, for example, I put family really, really high up on my values list. And then I've realized that just because family isn't in my top 3, it doesn't mean I don't value them. It doesn't mean I don't love them, but it just means that in this phase of my life, when I'm realistic, this is what I value first. Because ultimately, for me to show up the best version of myself and my family, I need to do these 3 things first.
That's the whole thing I said. You take care of you for me, and I'll take care of me for you.
Exactly.
It's also like, I like that because I think a lot of people will say what people want to hear. It's like, oh, family's my number 1 value. It's like, is it? Because again, family is very important to me as well. It's very important to me. But it's like, is it the most important thing right now? I don't know. And it's like, is family a value? Like, I don't know. Like, for me, connections, family
that covers it, right? It's like the biggest domino.
Cheat code.
Yeah.
Connections, with family is, up there as well. So, yeah, no, it's a really good point. I like that.
Well, that's the same reason. That's why authenticity was my 3rd, because for me that was a big domino, because that covers connection, that covers honesty, that covers integrity, that covers conviction, which are also super big priority for me. But then authenticity was the thing that should just put all of that in a nice little bow.
Yeah. Cheat hack.
Yeah. Let's talk about authenticity, because I've been on an interesting journey with that word. What is authenticity to you, and how has that evolved in your life, and specifically the last, since you've been in business and doing all of this?
Authenticity is really just being the truest version of yourself. A lot of times in life, we wear different masks, metaphorically, based on who we're with, whether it's friends, family, and we don't say what we want to say to protect the peace or not cause a ruckus. And a lot of people just aren't themselves. Like, I almost don't believe in like, extroverted and introverted. And it's like, oh, extroverted people get energy when they're around people. Introverted suck energy away when they're with people. And it's like, my belief is if you're with the right people, you're going to get energy. Yes. And if you're with the wrong people, you're going to feel exhausted. Because I experience both all the time. When I'm with people that I don't, maybe haven't met, and it's just like they're saying the same shit, or it's like, I just feel wrecked at the end of the night. Versus when I'm with my like best friends, I'm wired and I'm like feeling amazing. So I think authenticity is that, like when you're just can be completely yourself. No fear of judgment is a big part of authenticity. It's like you're not caring about what other people think and what you're saying. You're just being yourself, and that's just being truly authentic. And it sounds obvious and simple, but not many people can do that. And once you don't care about what people think, that's when you can be that's when you can be your authentic self. Like if you're worrying about what people think, you'll never be authentically self, because you want to like a chameleon fit in with the room so that you just mold your personality into whoever you're around. And that's fine, but man, that's not a life you want to live, I don't think. Like, no one actually gets to know you. No one gets to know the real version of you. And you don't get to know the real version of them, which means you're having 6 out of 10 relationships. Not amazing, but not terrible. And you're just kind of floating there, and it's good. It gives you just enough to tick that box of you've got friends and connections, but not enough to be fulfilling.
Exactly. Oh, dude, fuck. You just hit so many cracker things in that, but that's it. It's it. And authenticity is the thing that for me, it gives me the most juice, because when I'm authentic, I feel incredible, and when I'm inauthentic, I feel shit.
Dude, I don't have the energy to be anyone other than who I am. Dude. It's just like so exhausting.
Authenticity. We'll keep talking about this for a little bit because it's super important.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, what did I say? Yeah, I think I said. Yeah, authenticity. Like it's so important. I also think that contributes to the mental health issue as well. Like if you're not being yourself, like there's so many variables to the mental health epidemic that we're seeing in the world right now. But for young people, again, like most people aren't authentically themselves, and that's an issue. Like they're living a life that their parents maybe want them to, or their friends, or what they should be living, not the life they want to live. So, by being authentically yourself, you might push away people, but at least the people that you push away are probably the people that you didn't want to be friends with anyway. And the people that actually get to know you, they know you for you. So you push away people, and people are scared of that. By being authentically themselves, people go away, but at least you'll actually start to attract the people that really do love you for you, as opposed to this kind of middle ground where like you've got way more friends, but none of them are actually that great. They're all just kind of like, meh. It's not that they're bad. By the way, they're not bad people. It's just your relationship with them is like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying like, oh, they're 6 out of 10 people. No, your friendship with them is a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like being purely authentic can be super scary for some people at the start, but it's literally the best filtering mechanism that exists in the entire world.
100%. It's so important. And if you can like be authentic, like it's just, life's better. And again, you will push people away, and not everyone's going to like you. And it's like, okay, why do you need everyone to like you? Who cares?
Dude, exactly.
It's like this people pleasing. Like that's a big thing I see. Everyone wants to be loved by like everyone. And it's like, it's not realistic. By being loved by everyone, you're just going to be like this floating person where no one really loves you and no one really hates you. And it's just like this kind of like, again, 6 out of 10. It all comes back to this 6 out of 10 life, 6 out of 10 friends. If you want 10 out of 10 friends, you're going to risk pushing people away, but at least you're going to get those 10 out of 10 friends. And that's scary, but you got to do it. And that all links into authenticity.
Well, yeah, that's it. In my experience, the more I've loved myself, the less I've cared about whether other people love me or not.
Exactly.
And then you filter those people and you find the people who you need.
Yeah. And successful people, like people that are like really content and like happy with who they are, they're not really judging. They're not leaving negative comments. They're not talking shit. Like they're just living their life. Focus on yourself.
What do you think people need to hear? Like as we get towards the end of the potty, what do you think people need to hear?
Man, I think take more risks. Like just do the thing you want to do. Get out there, take more risks, and like say yes to more opportunities, or start creating opportunities yourself. Like you'd be shocked at how few people actually do this, but it looks like a lot because the ones you see online, they've all done it, but that's it. So take more risks, put yourself out there. Again, the authenticity thing, I think a lot of the conversations we've had, I've already said some of the most important things, but yeah, take more risks. And business success is not about working hard. It's about who takes the bigger risk. You got to work hard, but business is all about taking risk. And so I think take more risks, get out there, make memories, focus on connections. I think a lot of those things contribute to enhancing your quality of life. Yeah.
Let's say that it's 2028.
Yeah.
And we're doing episode number 3.
Sure.
What do you want to look back on and go, far out, I'm so glad that happened, or I'm really proud of this, or...
Hopefully the switch to retreats. Hopefully in a few years I'm going like, I'm so glad I did that. Like I've got more money, I've got more happiness, I'm doing more fulfilling work, working with, different types of people, getting to work with my family as well. That's like easy answer for me. Is like, I'm hoping that this is the right decision because, this is a big, like I'm switching like everything I've built over the last 4 or 5 years. So hopefully that for sure. Yeah. And then, cause a lot of other areas of my life are like really good. Got a great relationship with my girlfriends, got great friendships, like always looking to meet new people, but like, I'm on a good health journey right now. So like, I think that would be the answer for sure. Like the retreats. Am I switching the whole business model is the right decision? Hopefully.
And then within that, like what specifically within the retreats do you want to do? Longer ones? Do you want to do more intense ones?
I definitely do. Oh man, we're pretty intense already. I don't know if I can get much more intense than what we do. I think I want to do like more. I don't want to build a brand for founders. I want to build a brand of just like we do the best retreats. And I really, really feel called to do right now the father-son retreat and founder retreats. They're the two that like I'm really excited for. To do like next year. I'd love to do a mother-daughter one, whether I'll be there or not, or whether we do it under our structure. Because obviously I just want women running it for that. Even couples retreat, like again, it's not about like coaching couples. It's putting them through an experience where they get bonded.
Exactly.
And trust me, like the things we do, it works for any niche because it's like, and we can pivot it. Like we can take the structure we have and adjust it based on the niche we're doing. But yeah, I love the idea of doing those. I'd love to expand to like other countries as well. Do like different types of retreats and see what we can do and play around with it, but just keep growing. And yeah, but I'm definitely excited to do a founder one because I think the ROI of that founder one would be huge. If we had 25 to 30 founders, like the impacts they'll make on their business would be like massive.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Even just like from being a founder myself, the thing that would be priceless in that is just being able to connect with other founders who are interested in the same stuff.
And like the energy you get from it, the freedom, but also just like, yeah, as you say, being around those people, it's just super inspiring and you never know what could come from it.
I love it. And you stay in Sydney?
For now, at least, yeah, we'll see. But I would like to move around. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, beautiful. What do you want to leave people with before we wrap?
Man, I feel like I said everything I can say.
Yeah.
I think take the risk. Like get out there, create memories, focus on connections. Like all these things contribute to enhancing your life. And, if you've made it this far, you're probably doing something right.
Yeah, I love it. Where can people find you? Where can people find the business?
This is Lucy. Instagram, Byron Dempsey, website Driven Young, everything's there. You just Google us, you'll find it.
Legend. Thanks, Boz.
Good stuff.